Hello, everyone. Welcome to Honestly Hannah, a new podcast hosted by me, Hannah Coda. In this podcast, I will be sharing my honest opinions about all things going on in the world, such as TV shows to watch, movies to watch, music to listen to, news topics, the internet, and everything that goes on the internet, sports, politics, etc. In this little teaser episode, which is teaser episode number 2, if you haven't heard teaser episode number 1, go check it out. But in this teaser episode, I just wanted to give you all a little bit more of a taste on what this podcast is going to be like. My first official podcast episode is dropping Monday, February 1st, 2021. So please tune in to that first episode. You can tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube for the visual form. Any of those platforms are amazing to tune in on. I personally, like I said in the last episode, love to watch podcasts. So if you love to watch them, you get to see all of this on YouTube, or you could just audio listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So, like I said, this teaser episode is going to give you a little bit more of what this podcast is going to be. I really wanted to go over the news segment of this podcast, and I'm going to talk about what happened today, but normally I'll go over what happened the week prior, so you have a little bit more knowledge about what happened if you missed something, and can create conversations with your coworkers on Zoom, or, your friends. You can have a little bit more knowledge about what happened. So that being said, I woke up this morning immediately going to my Twitter feed and people blowing up talking about something called Robinhood. Now, before I get into this, just a disclaimer, I don't know a lot about the stock market. I don't own any stocks or shares or whatever the correct terminology is. I do know the general gist of it. I do know what happens and why people do it, and when the value goes up, when the value goes down. However, that's pretty much like the extent of my knowledge. And I know yesterday there was a huge rush of people saying to buy shares in GameStop and AMC and Nokia, and I understood what was going on. But really, the scandal today was with Robinhood, which I guess is a medium where people like me can purchase shares. Just regular people like me can purchase shares. And today they shut down that aspect of their company to the normal public. And honestly, from what it sounds like, it sounds very illegal. And I'm hoping by tomorrow, when this little teaser goes up, I'm filming this on Thursday, January 28th, and this goes out tomorrow, January 29th. I'm hoping we can get a little bit more insight on what the heck happened today, because I looked and I know Robinhood made a little bit of a statement, but I'm just still very unclear on this whole thing. And let me tell you, the most shocking thing about all of this to me was that AOC and Donald Trump Jr. were on the same page about this. Now, we haven't been on the same page. Those two people haven't been on the same page about really anything, I don't think, ever. So the fact that they're on the same page about this issue can kind of tell you where this issue stands. And that's really all I'm going to say about that. But since it was such a big topic today, I had to mention it. Going on to other things that happened on Twitter that I saw that I really need to mention. So this weekend is not the Super Bowl. However, next weekend is the Super Bowl. And I love football. Football is my number one sport. I know a lot about football. I love football. I will not state my teams yet, but just know I feel very strongly about these teams, pro, college, whatever it may be. I feel very strongly about them. But the Super Bowl is next Sunday, February 7th. And, a couple months back, they announced that The Weeknd will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime performance, the big performance that happens every single year. And the reason why a lot of people tune in, I thoroughly enjoy these halftime performances because they usually are these big productions, and the people that they pick are so well deserving. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I don't like The Weeknd. I've never liked The Weeknd. I don't like his attitude. I don't like how he treats people, and I don't particularly like his music really at all. So that being said, I saw on Twitter today, which I called this months ago, that Ariana Grande will be performing with The Weeknd at the Super Bowl. Remind you, like, they're not gonna actually do the Super Bowl live this year. It is going to be pre-recorded. So, whatever. But I knew that Ariana was going to be a part of this the second they announced it because she has multiple songs with him. Not to mention their number one hits, and the majority of the public likes them, and they're some of his biggest collabs. I cannot wait to see Ariana, and I'm telling you all right now that if she does come out, it will be the best part of my day because I love Ariana and I can't wait to see her crush it. I low-key kind of wish that they performed their new song that is on Ariana's album, but to be honest, we really don't know if that's going to happen because it's not a single, but maybe it will be after the Super Bowl. That'd be pretty great promo, in my opinion. But yeah, that is the only part I'm looking forward to. And I'm sorry if you're a big Weeknd fan or the Weeknd fan. I just am not. I've seen him live. I've seen him in person. I've heard stories of other celebrities and YouTubers and people alike meeting him, and I don't think he's the greatest person. And I'm sorry, there's so many other artists out there that are great, and that's my little spiel on that. Again, there was one more thing that I also saw on Twitter today that I think is worth mentioning, and it's that Shonda Rhimes was trending at some point today. And the headline was that ABC lost her and Bridgerton, because if you didn't know, Bridgerton was created by Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes is also the creator of Grey's Anatomy, as well as Scandal. I love Scandal. I'm a huge fan of Scandal. I like Grey's Anatomy, and that's a subject for another day. But she is the creator of so many iconic shows, and Bridgerton is her show that is now on Netflix. Now, she did have a deal with ABC before, and apparently she ripped up that deal and went straight to Netflix because ABC and Disney didn't want to give her a Disneyland pass for the day at a value worth $154. I read a couple articles on it, and to be honest, these are not like verified articles or verified like news sources. I wouldn't 100% trust them in their fact checking. There were places like BuzzFeed and that kind of stuff, but basically, I guess as the story goes, Shonda Rhimes left ABC because ABC, who is owned by Disney, by the way, ABC is owned by Disney. Disney gave her 2 passes, like lifelong, like extravagant passes to Disneyland here in Southern California. And I guess one day she wanted to take her sister and her family. And when they got to the gate, the tickets that they gave her for her sister didn't work. They weren't valid. So she got on the phone with an exec or whoever gave her the passes, and the exec said, basically, like, you're asking for too much. Like, you really want more. And I guess the story goes, again, I don't know how factual this is, but this is what I read. Apparently, she gracefully hung up the phone and immediately called her manager or lawyer and said, yeah, get me out of ABC. I'm taking this show to Netflix, and that's why we have Bridgerton on Netflix. That's, whatever. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot more details to that story, but I really guess we'll never know. That being said, I do want to talk about Bridgerton. I have seen the whole thing. I didn't immediately watch it when it was trending on Twitter. I did have a couple people telling me that I should watch it, that it's right up my alley, and that I would love it. And so I'm almost a little hesitant to say this, but I have to because this is my honest opinion, and this is honestly Hannah. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. Did I think it was the best thing that Shonda Rhimes has ever created? No. However, for what it's worth, I think it was a pretty good show. If I were to give my official rating, I would say it's a 6 or 7 out of 10. The reason being is because it was extremely predictable. And I'm not going to give any major spoilers here, but if you haven't watched it, I suggest you pause this and skip through or watch it and then come back to this teaser episode. But one spoiler I will say, because I feel like it's very relevant to my opinion, Once the Duke, which I believe his name is Simon, and Daphne, which are the two main characters, once they got married, I was done. I was happy. I was good. Like, I knew they weren't going to get divorced or whatever. Like, they were the couple that I was most invested in. So once they got married in like episode 4, episode 5, whatever it was, I was like, okay, like, when is this show going to end? I'm done. Like, I don't know. I don't have any more interest in it. So if you want to watch it and you haven't watched it, I highly suggest that you watch it either way. It's a rom-com mixed with like a little bit of drama. It's very like XOXO Gossip Girl, which Gossip Girl wasn't my favorite show either, but it's a guilty pleasure that I think we all needed right now. However, I don't think it's the greatest thing in the world. I'm sorry to those who are really big Bridgerton fans, but that's just my honest opinion. Just giving a couple more things that happened this week. For those who follow the YouTube community and know who beauty guru / YouTuber Laura Lee is, she announced today that her mother passed away from COVID. I used to be a huge follower of Laura until all of that YouTube drama started. I still watch her here and there, but it's just so sad to hear that her mother had passed away from COVID. And from what it sounds like, it was relatively very, very fast. And that's just devastating to lose anyone that fast. Some other things before I got on this tonight, we found out that Cicely Tyson had also passed away, and I loved her. Like, I thought she was such an amazing actress. So it's a little bit, it's sad news to me. However, it does sound like she lived a beautiful and long life. And to really just close out today, I wanted to talk about one last thing in the music world, and that would be driver's license. Okay, so I also wasn't jumping on the bandwagon with this. I didn't listen to it. Honestly, today was the very, very first day I ever heard this song, Driver's License, from what I know to be a current Disney Channel star, except for I think her show was the rendition of like High School Musical that's on Disney Plus. I do know she is Filipino, and I do know she's breaking a lot of barriers, but I guarantee you today was the first time I ever heard the song. My honest thoughts, I think it's a beautiful song. I think it's very cute, very honest, very touching. Like, it reminded me of the music that I listened to in high school, to be honest. It reminded me of the music that I really enjoyed like my freshman, sophomore year, when I was like having a bad day and like wanted to cry over the boy I had a crush on. It was very, very like nostalgic for me. I thought it was pretty good. I guess there's just a lot of drama around the story, that the girl that she's talking about in the song that stole the boy away or whatever is another Disney Channel star that is well known. Honestly, I'm here for it. It's a pretty good song. It's all right, and it's catchy, and honestly, I wish her the best. Let's see what she does, though. I really do think that the next step that she takes is going to define it all. But I hope that she goes a good route with this music career, because she does have a beautiful voice. So I'm rooting for her. I really am. That being said, this is just a little segment that I wanted to do for my second teaser episode. Please, please, please tune in on Monday for my first episode. If you have anything you want me to talk about in specifics, like anything that I need to talk about on Monday or a story time suggestion, please leave it down in the comments or in the reviews. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and share. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify listening to this, please make sure to leave me a review. That being said, thank you all, and this was Honestly Hannah.